is 5 p.m. in Ghana, that is Accra, chief town of Ghana. It is 6 p.m. in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital. Ladies and gentlemen, you are on to the primetime newscast on Equinox television, live from Equinox Central News Desk in Douala, Cameroon. Thanks for joining us. In this edition of the news, we'll give you the tense and disturbing atmosphere in Yagua in the Mayo-Danai division of the far north region of Cameroon. The people have risen against the state council. They went protesting, and the state council of Yagua remains missing since Wednesday. What is the atmosphere we shall be measuring in this edition of the news? And over in the Douala 2 municipality, that's in Nubel, a 3 years old baby has been burnt alive. He's been burnt by a fire incident reported in that neighborhood, precisely in the Bamileke Akwata neighborhood of Douala 3. The fire incident equally consumed a 4-story building. We shall be telling you more in this edition of the news. Thanks for staying with us. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us on the 6 p.m. newscast on Equinox television. We begin with a human interest story. An 8-year-old child has been burnt alive. He's been consumed by a fire incident reported in the Bamileke neighborhood of Nubel, that is in the Douala 2 municipality. The fire incident that erupted in the early hours of today equally consumed a building comprising 7 rooms, as reported by Simadjikan Gabriel.
New Bell Bamileke neighborhood early Friday morning. It was at exactly 4:58 a.m. that fire was seen at a 7-room house constructed out of plank. The fire that took everyone in the neighborhood by surprise left behind several casualties. An 8-year-old child by name Abdul Salami was burned to death, while another aged 10 years by name Baba Ali, who was injured due to the burns he received, is at the New Bell District Hospital. Even though the real cause of the fire is not yet known, according to the representative of the quarter head, we don't know where the fire came from, but I learned that the landlady had threatened to burn down the house during the day, but we can't tell if she did it or not. Apart from the loss in life and injuries recorded, properties including important documents like birth certificates, academic certificates, books of the children, and Quran all were destroyed alongside kitchen utensils. The 8-year Abdul Salami, as the Muslim tradition demands, was immediately buried. The fire occurred that the parents of the house were all out of town. The father works in Kribi, while the mother, we were informed, went to Edea for a funeral. The army rescue units alongside the population struggled to put off the fire.
The population of Yagua, chief town of the Mayo-Danai division of the far north region of Cameroon, yesterday, Thursday, October 17, 2019, went to the streets of Yagua protesting. They were protesting in the streets against what they called exploitation and gross violations of their rights by the state council of Yagua. They say the state council has made himself controller of trade, custom, police, and gendarmerie affairs in in Yagua, which he uses, according to them, to extort money from local inhabitants and people visiting Yagua. They equally said he sealed shops some months ago and is demanding money from those traders concerned. They equally indicated that the trader or the state council pretended that the shop owners were involved in illicit trade. The state council, according to the population, demands money from every truck driver that enters the town of Yagua in the Mayodanai division. The people say they equally took the matter to the senior division officer from Mayodanai, who, according to them, did nothing about it, and they had to channel their complaints and worries to the minister in Yaoundé. But the state council, on hearing the step they took, instead went further to order their arrest, and frustrated by the act of the senior divisional, the state council of the area, the people stormed the streets of Yagua yesterday before being heard by the senior divisional officer's assistant, who promised that measures will be taken to resolve the situation. We shall be coming back to that. As reports say, the state council remains missing since Wednesday. And we move over to Sangmalema in the Ja and Lobo division of the South region of Cameroon after the event that went wild in the town of Sangmalema. Cameroon's Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, went to Sangmalema yesterday. He said he is bearer of a peace message from President Paul Biya. More with Hemini Luga.
According to the Minister Paul Ntanganji, the whole mix-up is as a result of misunderstanding and false information disseminated with regards to the recent killing of a young bike rider in Sangmalema. The latter, contrary to information which circulated, was rather assassinated by a close family relative.
There was a misunderstanding because there's one young man who died, and the information about his death was not the right information. So it degenerated. So people went attacking the activities of the Fumban community. But it was something which did not last for long because the forces of law and order had to intervene to bring in order.
It's now made clear it's been a family dispute which resulted to the uproar, the incident which left total confusion in Sangmalema, a situation which has left also some traders whose shops were vandalized quest for the arrest of those who attacked their businesses, while others simply expect aid to revamp your activities.
Mais ces gens doivent être identifiés, interpellés.
This trader here expressed the situation in which the whole incident left them. His shop was totally vandalized, leaving him have no other activity to rely on.
République, il faut que ces gens doivent être interpellés.
On nous a fait savoir que le gouvernement devait nous dédommager. Et vraiment, on est contre que sous ça pour relancer les activités.
As for this trader, there is need for government aid to enable the traders who were hit by the incident to revamp their activities.
Je ne suis pas fonctionnaire, ce n'est que ici que je vis.
Being well abreast with the situation, Paul Atanganji held a security meeting with traditional rulers, administrative authorities and representatives of the respective communities involved in the recent upheavals in the area. He also sympathized with the traders who were hit by the incident.
So we have discussed with the traditional leaders, we have discussed with the motorbike riders, we have discussed with the administrative authorities, and they have all agreed that they will collaborate hand in hand to bring peace, and that to reinforce peace. There's already peace, but they will reinforce the peace and they will reinforce living together.
In total, 52 victims and shop owners were promised considerable support in days ahead. The minister left calling the community to live together and in harmony as figured out in an exemplary meal he shared with the stakeholders in Sangmalema.
From the south region of Cameroon, we move over to the west region, precisely to the Opankam division. And the town concerning the Opankam is Kekem, where several localities have been flooded. The floods, reports say, has forced many persons to leave their houses. Immaculate Fogwe tells us more.
Ça fait depuis 2 jours qu'il y a inondation Avant l'inondation, il y avait le cacao au champ en fermentation que la voiture devait aller au champ chercher. Depuis ce jour-là, la voiture n'entre pas au champ. Je ne sais pas comment le champ se porte. Même les bananes qui sont au champ, nous sommes là jeudi. Et demain, là, c'est vendredi. Chaque samedi, nous faisons le marché ici. Je ne sais pas comment faire pour arriver au champ, porter mes choses au champ pour sortir. Ça fait depuis 2 jours comme il y a une inondation.
It has been more than 2 days now that we have been experiencing floods in our area. I had foodstuffs in the farm that I had to transport to the market. But now, I cannot because the roads are inaccessible.
Je ne sais pas comment faire pour arriver au champ, porter.
Yes, as you can see, we are found in a village called Kekem, and there is an entrance of the market, Kekem market, that we go to Fomcha, Bamingui, and many villages, and there is water here that they call the Kam, and the water have flew and even take all the Kekem.
Locals say it is the first time they are experiencing such, and we want the government to look into their situation.
So there is no possibility for us to even cross. There is a deep hole just after the market, and there was even a canoe that was helping us to cross, and they have stopped it now not to cross people, so we don't have any way. And there is not only this way, there is another entrance down the call in Mume, and everywhere the water is flowing. We don't know what to do. We don't have any solution. Let the government should look and see what to do concerning this water. Thank you.
The situation of floods has become very common in many localities in the country, with enormous material loss recorded in most cases.
Benjamin Mbutu has been installed as the new senior divisional officer for the Vuri division. He was installed today at the Valley Beseke, that is the ceremonial ground in the economic capital of Cameroon, Douala. The installation was chaired by Governor Samuel Dieudonné Ivahadibwa of the Littoral region. Installing the new chief executive officer of the Vuri division, the governor charged him to combat urban disorder, insecurity, among other issues, in a very cosmopolitan Vuri division of the Littoral region of Cameroon. Here is an excerpt of Governor Samuel Dieudonné Ivahadibwa.
You have to show proof of vigilance and a high sense of anticipation. There is high threats of unpeace and public order, social cohesion, and the security of people and their property, with different forms of aggression, theft, robberies, assassinations, scams, drug trafficking, and other narcotics. In a particular way, I recommend you to pay special attention on the respect of regulations with regards to implementation of drinking spots, closed educational establishments, and also on the opening and closing hours of these drinking places. You will equally meditate to resolve succession disputes at the head of some traditional chiefdoms and territorial disputes between administrative units and units under the traditional command. The task awaiting you is immense and exhausting. I remain, however, convinced that your rich experience and personal qualities, you will be up to the task with the support of the population and people of goodwill. For me, you have my total support and availability, as well as that of my collaborators and regional services. I am ready to give you all the support you need to exercise your duties. I wish you total success in the exercise of your mission at the head of the Vuri division.
The 13th edition of the National Guidance and Counseling Day was commemorated across Cameroon today. The events in Yaoundé, Cameroon's political capital, were chaired by Cameroon's Minister of Basic Education, Professor Laurent Tondingwa. Meanwhile, in the economic capital, Douala, the events were presided at by Professor Nalova Lyonga, Cameroon's Minister of Secondary Education. And in this first part of of the news, we are receiving a guidance counselor. He is a Bueka who is equally a teacher at Government Bilingual High School, Nubel, in the Douala 2 municipality. I say, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me on the news.
All right, today is the National Day for Guidance Counseling. What is actually guidance counseling in Cameroon?
Guidance counseling in Cameroon, just like in the entire world, is a process or is a system of accompanying human beings, especially students in this context, you know, for them to achieve their goals. And within the educational context, like I was saying, it has to do with achieving their goal, which is within their learning process. So
achieving their goals, as in choosing a career, as in being guided on what to do. We can talk about series in school, but we find out that today some people go through primary to secondary, even up to high school, and they are still not sure of what they want. They still don't know what to do. You ask them after advanced level, they say, I don't know what I would do. I don't know if I have to choose this and that in the university. Have you people failed?
It will be too early to start talking about failure. And secondly, some of us, especially those of us in this profession, we like using adjectives which are more positive or more or less positive than negative. So we talk more about success and leading people to succeed. So it's not, guidance counseling is not just having to do with the choice of subjects, choice of series, choice of professional and that kind of thing. It is, like I said, a process of accompanying somebody in their life, and that life has to do with having learning to learn,
yes,
learning to work, and learning to live in society.
Learning to live in society, and now within the school milieu, you people are positioned there to do all this, to help the learners achieve this. In Cameroon, we equally have cases where children are violent in school. In Douala, we reported a case where a student killed a student in a school where there's supposed to be a guidance counselor. That's why I talk about failure. Noting equally that today is the 13th edition. It's not something that is just coming to Cameroon.
No, I want to correct something. It's not only the 13th edition as far as we're concerned. It's the 17th edition because this guidance counseling was instituted in a circular letter, ministerial letter in 2013. So it's the 17th edition. And as far as violence is concerned, I think you are on the point because the theme of this year has to do with the promotion of social values. And when we talk about violence, it means the education system is failing. But we are not going to say that it's a system that is failing, but that there are certain things that are hampering the system. It's not that we're failing.
Which are?
We're hampering.
The things
and so that is the reason why we're coming, we bring a theme like this for all education stakeholders, you know, to sit down and discuss about it and see what they can do to have a way forward and see how I can eliminate this kind of cankerworm. So I just want to say that it's not necessarily the guidance counselor's role per se, single-handedly, but it is an issue of what we call the education community. So it concerns everybody. The guidance counselor is there is to help canalize or coordinate these.
Now, if the goal of any student is to succeed in exams, at the end of the day, have a job. Another goal is to be a good student. We want them to be morally upright in the society. The guidance counselors are there in Cameroon. We see that most people leave the schools without being employed. Probably they did not choose the right career. We see violent committed in school. That's why I talk about the fact that the guidance counselor, probably the role has not been well played in Cameroon.
No, it's not an issue of a role not being well played. I want to insist on that. The problem when you talk about guidance, it's just like having medical doctors. You know, the fact that people fall sick it doesn't mean that medical doctors have failed in their duties. The simple explanation is that the illnesses are there, okay, and the medical doctors are there to fight. It's just like we have the society in which we live. The ills are there, and the guidance counselor is there to see how they can help fight these ills. And that's the reason we organize such activities like the National Guidance Counseling Day and such teams, which are very topical. We choose them because we find that there is a problem, and we have to fight that problem. And like I said, it is not single-handedly. It's not an issue of the guidance counselor fighting alone, but it is the community, the entire community that fights. And we have a term, just to permit me say that, or an expression, a concept, you call the education family, the education stakeholders. So all of them should be involved. And that is the role of the guidance counselor, to see that they bring together the education stakeholders, all of them, to see how they can move forward to help our
learners in Cameroon.
For a better
that
future.
Is Oka Ebueko. You are a guidance counselor at Government Bilingual High School, Nubel. Nubel is in the Douala 2 municipality. Thanks for being with us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on your program.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be moving straight to the second part of news, talking point. Thanks for staying with us on our talking point. We are receiving Maitre Alex Mola Ndive. He is a human rights and civil rights defender. Maitre, thanks for joining us on Talking Point.
You're welcome. I want to start by thanking you for what Equinox Television, the fantastic job you guys are doing to enlighten the people of Cameroon, and I'm delighted to be here.
It should be noted that you are a diasporan, Cameroonian from the diaspora, and equally you participated in the major national dialogue that ended in Yaoundé.
Thank you. I don't like the word diaspora. I'm a Cameroonian. I'm somebody who was born in Boya and I live there. Yeah, I'm in London. I live there, but I consider myself a Cameroonian.
You're a Cameroonian with an experience of having gone around the world or gone to most places in the world. Now, we talk about the major national dialogue. What's your key observation at the end of the 5-day events in Yaoundé? How would you summarize it?
Yeah, I wasn't coming to observe. I was coming to fight. Yeah. And I understand that there was a government, and government sets the agenda. And I look at myself like a civil rights person, as an opposition. I was coming to scrutinize the government because I've seen a lot of things on the social media. People say people were coming to negotiate for federalism. What? We were not coming to negotiate for federalism. We were not coming to negotiate for independence. We were not coming to negotiate for unionism. We were coming to scrutinize the government. That's the job of the opposition. That's the job of the civil rights society. I understand in Cameroon, a lot of people don't understand that politics is a profession. So we are here. We have what we call the alternative rhetoric platform. Badia Sanga, Dr. Lamba. We engage with other people, Dr. Muzu, Eric Chinje, Cardinal Tumi. We engage. We want to tell people politics is not about hatred. So we came here. We knew the government have set an agenda. Badia Sanga was in the disarmament committee. Dr. Lamba was in the educational committee. I was in the decentralization committee. I changed the agenda. I brought this special statute because the chairman said, look, the president has given us a mandate. I said, no way. No way.
Okay.
And the fact that we change it to special statute, that's success because we are not government. If I want to be in government, I have to make sure I win the election and set my agenda. The government sets the agenda and we change it. So the dialogue was a major success.
Now, you succeeded in having that at the level of your commission where you belonged, and you equally cited some members of your friends, people who worked closely with you. Did they succeed in having that at their different commissions? In having an impact,
like somebody
the kind of impact you had at the level of
somebody like Dr. Lamba, he was in the educational committee. I understand that, how do you call him? I know his name. It's just slipped my mind. One of the minister or what was talking about Anglophone. We have given you honor, donate, throw, pull as Anglophone.
Okay.
No, they talk about Vive Ensemble, living together. You don't give Anglophone something. You don't give. We live together. We share. And Dr. Lamba have to fight. Because I know there were people like Dr. Dorothy Njoma in the commission and other people were there. They have to change the agenda. And Dr. Lamba told me it was beautiful. And Dorothy Njoma did a great job.
Okay, now we'll come back to your commission because the outcome of your commission seems most interesting to people. The special status accorded to the North and Southwest region. You are not of government. Those of government will want to define it the way they want to define it. Do you think it's what is needed? What can bring an end to the issues in the Northwest and Southwest regions?
Yeah. Yes, when we talk about our commission, yes, I always believe the government is a government. It doesn't matter what form the government is. But our aim was to come and bring changes, to tell you that, no, you cannot do that. And we came there, we decided, we told the government it cannot work that way. We had agent provocateur, people like Akame Fumu, the former minister. They were there before he raised the point of special status. I talked with a couple of other people. I was the second on the list. I was supposed to raise the point. And after Senator Madam Mundi, my name was skipped, and they went straight to Akame Fumu. And I asked the chairman, why are you skipping my name? I was supposed to raise that point, and Mr. Akame Fumu raised that point. However,
whatever the process, you people succeeded in getting the special status for the Northwest and Southwest region. It's not been clearly defined. And I ask you, as an Anglophone first and a civil rights defender, is that it? Is that it? What I said, is that it? It means, is that really what we find as a solution?
My problem is social statute doesn't mean anything. In law, sometimes,
okay, that's what
listen, I'm getting, just let me learn.
Okay.
In law, you don't define something. Special statute could be in federalism. Special statute could be like what happens in Canada and Quebec. A special statute need to be defined. Okay. Unfortunately, we live in Cameroon that they leave all the blanks so that the president of the country should decide on what should happen. Special statute could mean us going back to 1961. It means, the fact is, they have identified that Northwest and Southwest, the two parts that came together and created United Republic of Cameroon, they have said they are special. They too, they are special too, because they were colonized by the French part of Cameroon. So special status is special. But we are not going to leave the government to define it. We are going to define it. And if the government loves peace...
That's the content.
Yes, if the government loves peace, they should allow us to define it. Because we use the word... sorry, I might divert a little bit. We use the word vivre ensemble, living together. Living together should not just be a word. It means equality. It doesn't mean the people who are running the government should go out of Cameroon to go and get treatment while other people cannot get it. I've been working in the city of Douala. A lot of money, billions is made in this country. I look at the roads. Nothing is done on the roads. The hospitals are bad. That's not vivre ensemble. People say people are secessionists. To me, the government is the secessionist. When you create a country where you divide second-class citizens, I mean, including the French, the people in government, they have special status. When they are sick, they go abroad to get treatment. And local people, French and English in Cameroon, they cannot have that status. So the government wants to separate the country. To me, the secessionists are the government. Okay. The people in power.
Yes, and you continue by saying that government should allow Anglophones to define the special status. That is, deciding the content. How would that be possible? I mean, how can that be achieved?
It can be achieved is sometimes we don't know that as individuals we have powers. We don't know as individuals we can bring changes. Rosa Parks in America, when she said, I'm not getting up from this seat, that lady changed America. When I went to the Decentralization Commission, I said, no, I did not come here to speak for 5 minutes. I changed the history of Cameroon. So you, sitting there talking, you can make a difference. What do you want as a special status? It shouldn't be Alex, the singer. It shouldn't be CPDM. It shouldn't be SDF. It should be us. What do you want? I see a lot of people talking over social media. They should come and define what they want. What do you want as special status? Stop saying that, what is special status? What do you want?
Telling what do they want, I mean, how would that actually impact directly on the definition? We are still waiting on the content of this special status to be defined. Metro Alex, how should we do then? If we know what we want, how should we forward them so that it can actually be accepted and implemented?
That's why I say, some of us, some people, they belong in political parties in Cameroon.
Okay.
Some people, they belong to civil society. We belong as an individual. I'm sure all of us, we know the address of the presidency or certain ministers in Cameroon. It's up to us to write to them and say, this is what we want. If you belong to a political party, send it to your political party. If you belong to a civil society, I just said, special statute can say federalism. Okay. It could be decentralization. Because in UK, where I live, we have what we call devolution. It's not federalism. But the Scottish people, they have their own parliament.
Yes.
The people from Wales, they have their own parliament and first minister. The people from Northern Ireland, the same. But it's not called federalism. I said before, what looks like a duck walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It's a duck. So I don't care about name. I care about the content, and it's us, people from Northwest, Southwest region. It's up to us to define it. If we keep quiet, it's going to happen that, like decentralization, that's what's in our constitution. For 23 years, we were silent.
Okay.
We want our people to be proactive. That's what's important.
Maitre Mullah Alex Ndiveli Singer, thanks very much for being with us on Talking Point.
Thank you very much.
It was very interesting having you.
Always a pleasure.
Viewers, thanks for staying with us. That's it for this edition of the news. Wish you a blessed stay in a company of programs on Equinox Television.